at least $1 million or in excess of that amount.
All right, thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Good afternoon, counsel.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Richard Blake on behalf of Dr. William Husel. Your Honor, the misdemeanor with a explosive device was over 25 years ago while Dr. Husel was in college. Since that time, he's been an exemplary citizen in Ohio. He lived in Cleveland, moved to Columbus, where he's lived now with his wife and 2 children. As we all know, the purpose of a bond is not to punish someone. It's to ensure that they show up, to ensure that they do not flee, and to ensure that there's no danger to the community. Mr. O'Brien and I have been in regular communications since the beginning of this year regarding Dr. Husel. Dr. Husel is well aware of what's been going on. He had many chances if he was going to flee, he could have. Several months ago, earlier in the year, we were asked just to ensure that there's no chance of leaving the country. The very next day, Dr. Husel, he surrendered his passport.
I would confirm that fact, Your Honor, that he did, at my request, surrender his passport probably back in January of this year, and he has been aware of the investigation and the nature of the charges at least since last November.
Thank you.
So I think for that prong of the requirement, the risk of flight, if in any case that I've ever seen, is as close to zero as possible. In fact, Dr. Husel self-surrendered this morning. After conversations that Mr. O'Brien and I have had, he's been prepared for it. We've had very frank discussions as to what he's looking at. And he's here, and we're prepared to go to trial. In fact, he wants to clear his name at trial. So he's going nowhere. With regards to a danger to the community, the charges against Dr. Husel involve medical treatment of patients at a hospital. He no longer works at the hospital. He no longer has an active medical license. He no longer has any ability from either the medical license or with the DEA to even get his hands on any type of narcotic to prescribe to anyone, and that's what he has been charged with. There's no evidence whatsoever that he's a danger to anyone. So the actual crimes of what he's been charged with involve his work as a physician, of which he cannot do right now. So there is, again, no danger to the community. So in those 2 prongs alone, it should be a very small bond for Dr. Husel. In addition to that, we have his family lives here, his wife, 2 young children, and a house. We've been in, as I say, constant discussion, not constant, but regular discussions with the prosecutor's office. Again, so I asked the court for a substantially lower bond than $1 million. The fact that the media is involved in this matter should not sway the court to say, okay, because we have to do something to satisfy folks.
It won't.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I don't mean to say that it would, but I feel it's my obligation to state the obvious. Dr. Husel is going nowhere. He's a danger to nobody. We would ask for a significantly lower bond. To not exceed $250,000 surety, so that he has the ability to at least put something up there to ensure that he will show up in court, which he will.
Taking a step backward, does Dr. Husel waive reading of the indictment?
He does, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, enters not guilty pleas to each of the counts?
He does, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And last pretrial services, is there a record?
The possession of explosives in 1996 in today's case.
All right, thank you. All right, Dr. Husel, your not guilty pleas have been accepted. There's a $20,000 recognizance bond, a $1 million surety or appearance bond, a no contact order, and you are to surrender your passport or other travel documents. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.